of course, is to share that in a live so they can feel the excitement. We know how much that our team feeds off of our energy. And then use the incentive as a way to start as many conversations as possible. So we on our team have developed a strong culture of fast-paced recruiting. So when incentives like this come around, the excitement continues throughout the month without me having to really reinforce it. We've created a culture where everyone on the team wants to recruit. It would be hard to find someone who would say they don't want to. So when they have an extra incentive to offer, they're excited to share it with everyone they know. When there's an incentive, consultants will usually ask people that they might not normally ask for whatever reason. So it acts as a confidence booster, and it can raise the bar on their regular activity when there isn't an incentive. One thing that really changed for me as a leader was choosing to assume that everyone wants to recruit. They just don't think they can, or they don't think they know how. I used to think that I had to convince people why they wanted to recruit. And when I changed my mindset to assume that they wanted to, and I just had to teach them the skills and build their confidence, everything changed. I feel like when we talk to our teams from a place of lack, like thinking that we have to convince them to recruit, it just has a very different energy than when we train and communicate assuming that they want to. Otherwise, you're going to find your team is either recruiting or not recruiting, kind of depending on whether there's an incentive, versus always recruiting at a high level, and then an incentive is a boost or its own momentum creator. It just helps anyone who's nervous or has people on their chicken list to reach out to. It helps them gain confidence and continue to ask into the future.
I love that. Well, all of these activities are obviously working, and they propelled you into the top 10 in personal recruiting, as we recognized last night. So huge congratulations to you, Krista.
Thank you.
And everyone here on the call with us, Krista has shared so much strategy in this short time. I hope a few of you may have questions or comments in the chat. We do have time for some Q&A. So Beth, has anything come into the Q&A for Krista, or anyone have something they want to ask?
I'm checking the Q&A now. So you guys, if you have any questions for Krista, please put them in the Q&A. I'm not looking at the chat, sorry. So pop them in the Q&A if you have it. A few really powerful things that stood out, Krista: leads versus recruits. That was eye-opening, right? Like really, really powerful. Also, the lead funnel that you use on Facebook is so awesome. And then that you go live on the 1st of every month. And when you finished up with the mindset shift of assuming that everyone wants to recruit. I'm so curious how many other executives think that same way, have that same mindset. And actually that leads us to our first question. Lisa is asking, can you repeat how you explained the lacking part? So kind of that mindset shift.
Yeah, so just, I was talking about shifting from feeling like I had to convince people. You know, we've all had those trainings where we talk about how we can change other people's lives, and it feels like we're convincing them that recruiting is a good thing, and we talk about what's in it for them versus us. So I think my words were, when we talk to our teams from a place of lack, thinking that we have to convince them to recruit, it has a different energy than when we train and communicate assuming that they want to.
I love that. I also see a question from Christina. Are the lives that you do with advertising incentives for your personal team or for your entire org?
The lives, like in our lead funnel group, I'm assuming. It's a live from our directors, and it's for the recruit leads. So it's telling their story, telling all the perks. It's an opportunity event. We just do it as a 20-minute live in a group. And I love the group because it's ongoing and constantly growing. I think we have 1,000 people in there now, maybe 800. And it's great for those old leads. Like this month, our task was to go into that group and find those people that have been in there for a year and touch base with them.
That's amazing, Krista. A few people are asking, so that's amazing, and I love how big your lead group has gotten. A few people are asking about your monthly lives. So I believe it's the one you do for your team.
Oh, yeah.
and they're wondering if that is for your personal team or your entire organization.
I do that for my whole organization, or I do that in my organization group. So that doesn't necessarily have everybody. Some of my senior directors don't add their teams to my org group, but I do that in my org group so that I'm making sure that I catch everybody, even if it's, a brand new director with their 5 consultants who maybe doesn't feel comfortable going live and sharing all of that, they're getting the information. So honestly, it's very similar to the video at the beginning of the monthly focus. I watch that and take notes and just kind of recap it for my team, because I find a lot of, especially the hobbyists, are going to watch a live with me rather than go and look for the monthly focus and watch that video.
That's super smart. And I think that answered part of Trina's question. This is our last one, it looks like. But she also asked for a little bit more detail about booking blitzes that you do.
Yeah, we do different things, but my favorite way to do them is on Zoom. Everybody comes together. At the beginning, we play some really fun music, get their energy up, get them excited, and then I'll do a list of who to talk to or talk to them about how to green dot blitz, give them some words to use, and everybody mutes, and I'm there to help them. They go off and start sending messages, and I always tell them not to look at the replies right away, because I just want them sending out as many messages as they can. But if they have a question or they get stuck somewhere, they'll unmute and say, I need help, and I can help them respond to an objection, or they come on and say, I booked one. And we usually do that for 20 minutes, and then we come back and do a recap. And for them, it's a big aha at how much they can get done in 15 or 20 minutes. Because to me, the reason why people don't have enough bookings is because they're not asking. That's 100% of the time when I talk to them, they're not asking enough people. So if I can show them that in 15 minutes they can ask 20 people, they realize the power of a really small amount of time. And we talk about, if you did this every single day, what would your business look like? Yes, you don't have a booking problem, you have an asking problem. Exactly, that's exactly what it is.
Love it. Not a booking problem, an asking problem. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Krista, for sharing all of your